Check one, check two, check. Come baby, 1, 2. I want a better vision, better camera. So maybe everybody can hear me. Let's see, not watching myself. The monad, that was one thing. So the icon on this is called the monad. In philosophy, the term monad, here I'm reading from Wikipedia. The term monad, derived from ancient Greek monos and monos. Monos is unity, monos is alone. It's used in some cosmic philosophy and cosmogony to refer to a most basic original substance. Circle dot was used by Pythagoreans and later Greeks to represent the first metaphysical being, the monad, or the absolute. So the little mark of enlightenment looks a little bit like the monad. I can stand up and show it off, but that's not the point right now. Let's get to the thing. So when I was learning about myself and my past lives, this would be between 2003 up to 2006. The book definitely came into my life in 2006. My friend Ben interfered with the guru's prophecy. We'll get around to Ben. Ben, I think, has been a friend for as long as I've been involved with the book, and he's probably another hidden enlightened master on this world that's being ignored and treated like shit. So, way back in the day, this guy, Chokro Liu Gyeltsen, received empowerments from Vimala Mitra. And so how I recovered the rainbow body yoga was actually by reading through Rigpa wiki. And there are some curious things that Max said in class. Like, Buddhists are always concerned about spherical logic or spherical awareness. Max still talks to me. Besides dreams, occasionally I'll tune into some of his stuff comes online. He protects himself quite a bit from direct exposure to online because he is, again, one of these highly enlightened ancient beings on this planet. The things I've seen him do, he can move people around, move wind. If you dig into his, you have to go into Kunlun, look up Kunlun Taoism, Kunlun. Why is Padmasambhava peddling Taoism in this day and age? Well, I don't know. Why did China take over Tibet and destroy all of its culture, its ancient cultures? Anyway, Max can move people around. This again is just unscripted, off the top of my head. Can move the wind. You talk about wind doing stuff in class, like the physical wind, and next thing you know, wind gusts would happen, or the tree would move, or the Taos classes ended up with this little whirlwind and a wind rush. He manifested a whirlwind in class that hit him and this other student, John. I don't know if I want to talk about that full thing, but it was a supernatural manifestation of wind because it came up 20 feet behind them, hit both Max and John while they were doing the push hands. This is the push hand movement if you've ever done some Tai Chi. And then as he was, finishing up class, because the class that day was very short, as you can probably imagine. I would pay him in tea, and I had a bag of tea, and I was like, "Oh, guru, here, don't forget your payment." And at that moment, this huge wall of wind, like a wave, just hit both of us. He can also, what is it? It's nothing big. I don't use the word jalu. Trekcho. Trepcho is full dissolution. Complete, this is like your body turns into light and goes somewhere. So Max has supposedly done that. When I was around him, he was. Some of the close people said he could levitate again. So after seeing him move people and move the wind, and some of the close disciples said that he was levitating, it's kind of like, oh well. Mind you, he was very prophetic with me. He's the only person I've ever had tell me my future accurately. No psychic has ever. Whatever beautiful woman, I respect you, but the psychic women never. It's scary when you. It's. I don't know. Something that he does. The guru. He freaks people out by telling them their future. Anyway, Vimanigtig. This is how, by reading Rigpa wiki, is how I uncovered my rainbow body yoga. History. The first four masters in this lineage left the world in a characteristic way. At the end of his life, the first human Dzogchen master, Garab Dorje, disappeared into a sphere of rainbow light. Aha, see, Max was right. Like, spherical consciousness. Leaving his disciple Manjushri Mitra. His last testament hitting the essence in 3 words. Tiksun Nedek. When Manjushri Mitra departed the world, vanishing in a cloud of light, probably it should be a sphere of light, the same physics, he gave his last testament to the disciple Sri Singha, entitled 6 Experiences of Meditation, or Gom Nyam Dokpa. When Sri Singha passed away and dissolved into a sphere of light, he bestowed his testament 7 nails, Zerubdun, on Jnana Sutra. All of these names are code words. If you study Dharma, those like Jnana Sutra means what's said. Jnana is the ability of the mind to burn. So Jnana Sutra is like to focus is jhana, also known as Chan, also known as Zen. Focus on the sutra. Anyway, where were we? Jnana Sutra. He too left this world by disappearing into a sphere of light, leaving the disciple Vimala Mitra his own testament, 4 means of abiding. The lineage was passed from the primordial Buddha Samantabhadra, which is the 6th Buddha family, I believe. And here it gets into. It's going to be about it. So, here we go. In the room known as Unzi, Bakhang, and Samye. Samye Monastery is very important. It's where the Ketun, the demon that is the state oracle, is trapped or is empowered by the monastery Samye, which is a giant mandala. It's been destroyed and been rebuilt a couple times, and it's the Panchen Lama who recognizes the Dalai Lama. It's the Panchen Lama's duty to keep Samye up and running. Here, this is very controversial Tibetan politics, but the fake Panchen Lama, the one that the Chinese they grabbed, little Choki, I forget his name, Choki Nimma. There was an authentic Tibetan Panchen Lama, and he was abducted on May 17th, 1994. I had a very vivid dream that relates to Odeon, which is over in California near Santa Rosa, on the day that the authentic Panchen Lama was abducted by the Chinese Communist government. And then they instilled a fake Panchen Lama at that time. But that fake Panchen Lama went on to rebuild Samye Monastery, which had been destroyed by the Communist People's Republic Army, whatever it is, the PLA. People's Liberation Army. I didn't liberate anything. I just played the canyon. I'm still angry. Like, I have been a Tibetan. It just pisses me off when I start. Anyway. Panchen Lama rebuilt Samye Monastery. Back to me. In the room known as Utse Barakang in Samye, Vimala Mitra gave the cycle of innermost secret Ningtig in strictest secrecy to 5 disciples. King Trison Detsen, now Bing Tingzigzangpo. I am horrible Tibetan. Muni Tsenpo, Tsepo, Kawa Peltsek, and Chokro Liu Geltsen. I don't like Chokro. Liu Geltsen. So, therein lies the hook. Liu Geltsen was not one of the 25 disciples. He was a watchdog. The demon Chokro. Padmasambhava, so Liu Geltsen spent time with Yeshe Tsogyal, trying to create literacy, and we were doing Vinaya, translating Vinaya from Sanskrit into Tibetan. So Yeshe Tsogyal, knew that she was giving birth to a whole nation. So I was one of the translators. I have memories of the old script. It's very different than what is modern. It came from years of going to the monastery and trying to remember. The memories come up in dreams in the past. Kawa Peltsik was a good friend, has been a good friend for many lifetimes. It's not always, probably was the son of Karma Lingpa, Choje, Lord of Dharma. Anyway, Choje was Karma Lingpa's son. Vimala Mitra, yada yada yada. Ningtig is very simple. And again, it comes from you have to go and talk with the guru in order to get oral transmission. But the purpose of the Book of the Dead, Bardo Thadrol, is to preserve the consciousness of the terma holder. The terma holder is recognized currently by who has the mark of enlightenment, the mark of pristine cognition, being born in the year of the dragon, this funny mole that looks like an eye on the right thigh. And what does it do for me? Jack and all. Everybody thinks I'm a crazy white guy. So I need to do some inner work on this, because bearing the Book of the Dead has been the same as spiritual rape in this lifetime. It made me a pacifist, and as a pacifist, I wasn't able to protect my family. My grandmother was murdered, and all I could do is blessings. I hope you have good life. To the people that murdered my family. It's preserved me, the yoga, this Ningtig yoga, is preserving me for some reason, but it's also preventing me from finding a wife or anything. No, great. Yay. Let's talk about the Greys. Alex and Allison Gray. They were my Kundalini awakening when I was a young kid. Some of their prayers, which you can find on their Instagram. There's one that they did in 1986 where they painted themselves up in gold and put a skeleton between them, and Allison was up front. She had a little baby, and Alex. So that woke me up. That's an interesting discussion, but I don't think I'll ever be able to talk with them. I'm not psycho. I don't want to be like, hey, look at me, start a cult of personality. No. This has been a lot of tough lessons, and I didn't put the mark of enlightenment on me. So It is a form of spiritual rape. And the mark of enlightenment comes from Max, who is, in private chit chats, Max knows that he's Padmasambhava and he doesn't want to deal with it. I wouldn't. I don't want to deal with having the Book of the Dead. But for the sake of preservation for the sake of taking a lot of shit from people and giving some public commentaries. So come find me, come be polite, give me offerings of silk and gold and such, and I might teach you how to do the Ningthig meditations and activate your rainbow body. It gives you a little bit better control over Kundalini. And yeah, I don't know. It keys you into the mind of the Buddha, which is why I did the Bodhisattva vows when I was younger. It was the little voice told me to look up when the black triangle was flying over. Or in 6th grade, it told me I would learn about crystals and anti-gravity from a Chinese man, which is pretty close. Like Max was teaching Taoism. Went there to learn a lot of Taoism. Qigong is the same as prana. It can be a yoga. The hard line, Tibetans don't like mixing these, but once you learn that you have a light body and how to do stretches and stuff, a lot of these energetic practices end up being the same thing, because you have these certain cells and certain organs within your body that generate power and spiritual power, warmth, bioluminescence, and heat. And if you have a good, sharp mind, the energy that comes off of people that do energetic practices is a little bit better than, like, fucking druggies, meth heads, or whatnot. But here I'm walking my spiritual line, because yes, occasionally I do like cannabis, and I am an experienced psychonaut, but yeah, my use of mushrooms and things like DMT have been. I use mushrooms to heal my spine, and DMT to pacify the homicidal rage I have at the fact that the Taos County sheriffs are cartel. And the judges in Taos, New Mexico, take payments from certain families, like the In-N-Out Plumbing Group, and this is Ernest Ortega. He takes payment from these families, and they run drugs north, and the judges, whenever it comes up into court, they just say, oh, there's no evidence of drug trafficking. And yet you walk down the streets in Taos and you see, there's needles on the side of the road, there's young violence, there's overdoses. Go down to Espanola, it gets even worse. But yeah, no, take them into court, and there's no evidence of drug trafficking. So anyway, I know where Kawa Peltzik is. From Liu Geltsen. There's the Prince Muni Tsetpo, which I remember he was a pretty cool dude. Salmupol. I should study some of these. And then where's the king? That's my problem with talking with Tibetans and all of this, is that I come. The start of the tantra of the Book of the Dead was an imperial thing, so I always expect people to be like, hey, I'm giving the word of the empire, the king, the king's word, the queen's word. And nowadays, like, you're a white guy, whatever. So anyway, the tantra, the purpose of the Book of the Dead is to recognize who is Padmasambhava. I have made it abundantly clear if anybody watches these. It's Max Christensen, Primordial Alchemist is his website. He gets really fucking wrathful if you try to approach him with this knowledge. But if you want to see where the core of the Vajrayana is, its highest guru, He's over here on the west. All my experiences with him, he shows up in dreams, which if I go into the Vajraguru thing, it's pretty poor. He should write to me, but he refuses because he was very wrathful to me. He doesn't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with it. But I'm marked by it, and it's keeping me alive. So, for better or worse, there you go.